Welcome to Copilot Podcasts. You know those mind-bending special effects in movies that make you question what's real? Well, imagine if someone weaponized that technology against superheroes. Today, we're diving into Mysterio, the master of illusion who turned Hollywood magic into a supervillain arsenal. We'll explore how special effects expertise became a deadly weapon and why this character has been messing with heroes' minds since 1964.
And what's fascinating is that Mysterio isn't just another supervillain with fancy tech. He represents something much deeper about the power of perception and reality. Let's start with the basics. Who exactly is Mysterio? So, Mysterio's real name is Quentin Beck, and he first appeared in The Amazing Spider-Man Number 13 back in 1964. He was created by Stan Lee and Steve Ditko as this fascinating character who started as a Hollywood special effects wizard and stuntman.
Wait, so he wasn't always a villain?
No, actually. Beck was initially a successful effects designer in Hollywood, but he became frustrated with his lack of recognition. It's kind of a cautionary tale about talent turning bitter.
Sounds like some influencers I know.
You know, that's an interesting parallel. Both cases involve people desperate for fame and recognition, willing to blur the lines between reality and fiction to get it.
So what pushed him over the edge into actual villainy?
According to the comics, his first major scheme involved working with someone called the Tinkerer. They created these elaborate alien disguises to steal industrial and military secrets.
Aliens? That seems like a jump from special effects work.
Well, that's the genius of it. He used his Hollywood expertise to make the impossible seem real. After Spider-Man disrupted that scheme, Beck became obsessed with defeating him.
Let's talk about his powers, or should I say his tech?
Right, and this is crucial. Mysterio doesn't have any actual superpowers. Everything he does is based on technology and skill.
Really? Even those impressive illusions?
Absolutely. His suit is a masterpiece of engineering. It can emit various gases, including sedatives and hallucinogens. The helmet has a sonar device that lets him navigate through his own smoke screens and even disrupt Spider-Man's spider sense.
That's actually pretty impressive for someone without powers.
And there's more. His gloves can shoot fireballs and electric bolts, his boots have magnetic springs for enhanced jumping, and his cape is electrically charged.
Sounds like he really thought of everything.
You know what's interesting? He's also a skilled hypnotist and chemist. He combines these skills with his special effects knowledge to create incredibly convincing illusions.
I've heard he's done some pretty intense psychological warfare too.
Oh yeah, that's actually where he's most dangerous. He doesn't just create physical illusions, he plays mind games that can break even the strongest heroes.
Got any examples?
Well, there's this fascinating story where he nearly pushed Daredevil over the edge in a storyline called Guardian Devil. He's not just Spider-Man's enemy, he's tangled with other heroes too.
Wait, Daredevil? The blind superhero?
Exactly. Shows how versatile his methods are. He can adapt his illusions to target any hero's specific vulnerabilities.
That's actually terrifying when you think about it.
And what makes him even more dangerous is that he's not working alone. He's a founding member of the Sinister Six, a team of Spider-Man's greatest enemies.
So he's a team player too?
When it suits his purposes. But ultimately, Mysterio's always been about personal recognition. It's what drove him to crime in the first place.
You mentioned his first scheme with the alien disguises. What happened after that?
He actually tried to frame Spider-Man for robbery by duplicating his powers mechanically. He even managed to defeat Spider-Man twice in their early encounters.
Twice? That's impressive.
Yeah, though his overconfidence eventually led to his downfall. Spider-Man recorded him bragging about his schemes.
Classic villain mistake, the victory monologue.
But you know what's really interesting? There have actually been several people who've taken up the Mysterio mantle over the years.
Really? Tell me more about that.
Well, after Beck, there was Daniel Burkhart, a stuntman who was hired to pretend to be Mysterio's ghost. Then Francis Clume, a mutant with teleportation powers. Even a character called Mysterion who bought the identity.
But Beck is still the original and most well-known, right?
Absolutely. Quentin Beck defined what Mysterio represents, the power of illusion and deception in the modern world.
Let's talk about his costume. That distinctive fishbowl helmet has become pretty iconic.
The suit is actually a masterpiece of engineering. Every part serves a purpose. That helmet? It's got a half-hour air supply and projects what they call a psychedelic power effect.
So it's not just for show?
Not at all. Everything about Mysterio's equipment is functional. Even his cape contains holograms and lasers.
You mentioned his psychological tactics earlier. How does that work exactly?
He studies his opponents, learns their fears and weaknesses. Then he creates scenarios that exploit those vulnerabilities. It's not just about creating pretty light shows, it's about breaking someone's spirit.
That's some next-level manipulation.
And in some alternate universes, he's even more devastating. In one timeline, he managed to trick Wolverine into killing all the X-Men.
Wait, what? Wolverine killed the X-Men?
That's the power of Mysterio's illusions. When perfectly executed, they can make even the strongest heroes do unthinkable things.
It's interesting how his character has evolved over the years.
Yeah, from a frustrated effects artist to one of Marvel's most psychologically complex villains. He's been adapted into various media too, including games and films.
Speaking of evolution, how has his technology changed with the times?
He's constantly updating his methods. Modern versions of Mysterio use everything from advanced drones to digital projections. He's always at the cutting edge of special effects technology.
So he keeps up with the times.
Has to. In a world with real magic and supernatural powers, his illusions need to be more convincing than ever.
What do you think makes him such an enduring villain?
I think it's because he represents something very real, the way technology and media can distort our perception of reality. In today's world of deep fakes and digital manipulation, Mysterio feels more relevant than ever.
That's actually pretty profound.
And remember, he achieves all this without any actual superpowers. Just skill, technology, and understanding of human psychology.
Makes you wonder what he could have achieved if he'd stayed on the right side of the law.
That's part of the tragedy of his character. All that talent, twisted by bitterness and the need for recognition.
Well, I think it's time to wrap up. Any final thoughts on Mysterio?
You know, in many ways, Mysterio represents the dark side of entertainment and technology, how the same tools that bring us joy and wonder can be turned against us.
And that's what makes him such a compelling villain. He shows us how thin the line is between illusion and reality, between entertainment and manipulation.
Exactly. In a world increasingly dominated by special effects and virtual reality, maybe Mysterio's warnings about the power of illusion are more important than ever.
And on that mind-bending note, we'll end today's episode of Co-Pilot Podcasts. Remember, folks, not everything you see is what it seems. Mysterio taught us that much.